Joy Reid. What's up? She got fired, right? Not the first person to be fired in recent memory from MSNBC. Is this because of her talking about Gaza? Because that's what happened to Mehdi Hassan.
My show had value, and that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I try not to cry on TV. And I take this kind of...
She was based. Okay, wait, hold on a second, because I thought I hate her. Wasn't she really anti-Bernie, or am I completely mixing people up right now? Like a liberal who cynically weaponized identity politics against Bernie Sanders, right? Am I misrepresenting? You're thinking of Elizabeth Warren? No, well, she also did that, but I don't think I'm mixing these two up. But she was also good on Palestine. Well, that's good. I mean, I'll tell you this much, okay? Joy Reid would not get let go from MSNBC for being anti-Bernie. She would for being pro-Palestine, because that happened with Mehdi Hassan. I'm trying to remind myself like what she did, because I remember there was something she did or something she said, and I think it was about Bernie, that really pissed me off. I'm trying to look at the Wikipedia page, see if I can remember anything. Damn, she's kind of based about Israel though. Blog posts from 2005 to 2007 were brought to public attention in April 2018. According to the Washington Post, Reid's controversial remarks included encouraging her readers to watch the truther conspiracy theory film Loose Change and saying of Israel, God is not a real estate broker. He can't just give you land 1,000 years ago that you can come back to and claim today. Reid claimed Jewish people spend $500,000 on their bar and bat mitzvah celebrations. Wait, is that anti-Semitic? I grew up around Jews. That's true sometimes. She also described CNN's Wolf Blitzer, who is Jewish, as a former flack for AIPAC, who doesn't even try to hide his affinity for his Israeli guests or his partisanship for their cause. The Zionist Organization of America called for MSNBC to fire Reid for promoting sinister anti-Semitic canards. This just isn't really reading as like anti-Semitic to me. I guess it could be dicey. The only thing here that's directly about Jews is saying that Jewish people spend $500,000 on their bar and bat mitzvah celebrations, which, like, okay, it's definitely spicy. Is it? Think of the shit I've said about Christians, man. Like if I said some wild shit about, like, baptisms or circumcisions, I'm just, like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I understand how it can contribute to harmful tropes, okay? I'm just saying, like, if that's the worst they got from that. Okay, wait, somebody in chat said what she did that pissed me off, and I think you got it correctly. That she had a body language expert on to talk about how Bernie Sanders was a misogynist or something like that. Joy Reid called Bernie supporters privileged white voters in 2020 for not supporting Biden. Yeah, okay, that's why I don't like her. That's right. Cynical weaponization.
Let's bring in special report and chief political anchor, Brett Baer.
Of identity politics. The body language expert thing. Dude, this pissed me off so bad.
Dust up between the two of them is that scandals hurt you more when they seem plausible, right? I mean, Bernie Sanders does have a sort of physicality, you know, when he talks that is a shaking your finger at Hillary Clinton, shaking your finger, shovey, weirdy, you know, his physicality makes me think, yeah, he could have said, you know, listen, I think in this environment a woman can't win. That doesn't seem like a crazy
Well, first of all, I think Bernie's lying. We see him, he slouches forward anyway, Joy, but here he turtles. If you look at his eye level where he normally answers questions, when he makes the denial, his whole shoulders come up like a little kid getting caught. His eye level is below his shoulders. This is trying to hide in plain sight.
No, it's because he's stooped, because he's like 100 years old. What? He's just an old man.
And many of us, we don't know what to look for. So if you look for this right out of the gate, and the strongest denial is simply saying no. And I think women in particular, we want to believe human.
They really did like pull out all the stops to go for Bernie. You think this shit happens organically? Bernie's like the most likable guy in the universe. You really think you're getting Joy Reid bringing on a body language expert to be like, oh, well, you see, he waved his finger misogynistically or whatever the
beings. So we're like, yeah, I would say that. He literally said, well, as a matter of fact, I didn't say it. That's 9 words. Unnecessary. No. Did you vote for Donald Trump in the last election?
Absolutely no.
Right? So no. Did you dress up as an Easter bunny on Easter?
Absolutely no.
Right?
If you deny an absurd claim with more than 2 words, you're actually lying. No, as a matter of fact, I did not. No, you're lying. Sorry, you said that the way an old Jewish guy would, not the way a person who's deliberately answering with a short number of words to prove the point of the person she brought on to do a smear campaign against Bernie Sanders. Would have.
So it's no. We say no. Absolutely is actually not the strongest denial. You're playing with me here in the game, but at least you're getting the no in here. We're not hearing the no with Bernie. Also with Bernie, he has numerous hotspots. He says, well. Liars like to start with, well. He looks away. He laughs. I think he might have been coached.
Was that the recording?
No in here. We're not hearing the no with Bernie. Also with Bernie, he has numerous hotspots. He says, well. Liars like to start with, well. He looks away. He laughs. I think he might have been coached to laugh in this moment. A lot of politicians are coached to laugh in the difficult times, so we're focused on.
This is like high quality gatekeep gaslight girl boss shit, you know? When the worst woman you know learns therapy language from TikTok so she can manipulate the out of you and make you feel like a bad person for it.
On the laughter, and it's supposed to send a message that this isn't serious. It is serious. If he said it, which I believe that he did, he would have been better to just own it. Barack Obama wrote a book years ago, and he said what in the book? He tried cocaine and marijuana, and he never touched the stuff again. We never talked about it when he was president after that. If Bernie just owned it, this would disappear. We wouldn't be talking about it 6 days later.
But Bernie, he did the...
Jesus. 6 days later, all of this off an unfounded, unsupported accusation from one primary candidate to another. If he just admitted he did the thing he didn't do, then maybe we wouldn't keep dogging on him for it. Never forgive the snake. Never. Oh, never. Oh. And she rejected the handshake, I remember. Yeah. Look at that, you fool. Ooh, aha. I'm being sent back. I think you called me a liar. I disagree with Bernie when he told me a woman can't win. I didn't say a woman can't win the 2020 election to Elizabeth Warren. Michael Moore on the Sanders-Warren sexism feud. They will mark January 13th as the day Donald Trump was reelected. Michael Moore, you were very right. You were 4 years off, but you were very right. Anyway, I guess the point to all this is that I don't like Joy Reid.
I don't like being on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so I've
heard her be based on Bernie even recently because my parents watch MSNBC 24/7. I will admit that was 4 years ago, and it is entirely possible that she's changed since then. I guess that I just don't watch MSNBC, so that's what comes to mind.
I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza, and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of.
Is this why she got fired? They literally had Joe Scarborough on MSNBC for years. You're getting fired for supporting Palestine. That's it. That's what the powers that be demand. Yeah. You think your ass is getting fired from MSNBC for being like pro BLM or whatever? No. No. You know exactly where people are getting fired over. That's the line. It was just like this with the Iraq war. Why fire her now? I don't know. It's a whole complicated thing going on. You think the genocide is done? You're gonna be hearing about this shit for years, man. MSNBC also fired Jonathan Capehart, Katie Fang, and Ayman Moyadem It's like 90% of their POC lineup. Sheesh. MSNBC bloodbath of non-white anchors after Joy Reid forced out. They are, yeah, wow. Mehdi Hasan. Well, yeah, that was like a year ago, but that was the big one for me because Mehdi Hasan was really based. Is this a DEI thing? I not to sound conspiratorial, but you guys know MSNBC's literally control opposition, right? Again, Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe, like they are not a sincere, genuine advocate for progressive change. They're just like they're corporate ghouls that have just like set up shop on that side of the fence. Some of the people that have been on their program have been good. Obviously, Mehdi Hasan, insanely based. But yeah, actual controlled opposition over there. If Elizabeth Warren was the tie-breaking vote for a wealth tax, would you forgive her? I'm not exaggerating when I say that I will never forgive her for as long as she lives. Is Rachel Maddow even gay? Well, being gay is when you like guys. So, I mean, I don't know what her deal is. Can you describe what you mean by controlled opposition? I mean that the goals of the people who run MSNBC are run contrary to the interests of the people who often broadcast from it and who consume the media from it. Like, they are not interested in pushing the country to the left. They're interested in capturing a space, an ideological space, like a window, a chunk of the Overton window, and profiting from it and controlling that space. Not advancing things to the left or even achieving the things that their pundits talk about. It's all corporate media. Yeah, to a large extent. Things are pretty consolidated these days. If only Warren would have gotten out of the way so Bernie could have lost to Biden by less. Yeah. No one, you know, stabbed Julius Caesar fatally, right? He just died from 40 stab wounds or whatever. I know how it is. Oh yeah, if Warren hadn't done that, then maybe he would have gotten a little bit more of a boost, then not enough to win. And then it's like, okay, well, what if Joy Reid hadn't run that program? What if all these like pundits hadn't randomly attacked Bernie Sanders at this point? What if like Obama hadn't made that call to consolidate all of the centrist votes together? What if the DNC had treated him like a legitimate candidate and not like an maverick outsider? What if the DNC recognized that populism would be necessary? Like you like every motherfucker with the rifle who's at the, you know, part of the firing squad thinks their bullet isn't going to be the one to kill the guy, you know? Now we're getting Jen Psaki instead of Joy Reid. Jen Psaki, of course, will never breathe any negative word about Israel, obviously. You think Warren was bought out by the powers that be? Well, she was a politician, so to some extent, yeah, of course. I think that sometimes it's lying for what you think is a better cause, and sometimes it's you being genuinely convinced because of the propaganda that you consume, and sometimes it's you just genuinely believing in, you know, a thing that is just not true. It's, yeah, this multivariable. Cutler's moves to shake up the network have angered some MSNBC insiders. Well, that's nice. Holy shit, I didn't realize it had been that short a time. Cutler was only made president 2 weeks ago. All right. So that's the MSNBC has been flagging badly lately. Its ratings have been pathetically low. So they're bringing in somebody from the NBC branch. Yeah, splitting off from NBC, spinoff. Maybe she thinks like if we just have more white people. Ruthless new MSNBC boss who gutted Joy Reid just 10 days after taking on a new role. She joined MSNBC in 2022 after a 12-year stint at CNN, okay, CNN, not NBC, where she climbed from executive producer in shows like Inside Politics with John King to senior vice president. Cutler was previously CNN for deprogramming chief, the ill-fated, CNN plus the ill-fated streaming star, the crash murder, 82. Okay, yeah. New management.